All right, so we left off with me trying to bring the Scratch GUI into my project. And I'm not super optimistic in my chances here. So the npm install did work. It does seem like it brought down the entire project. But as I'm looking through it, I'm not finding an index.js or anything where it seems like it's intended to be a component in someone else's project. So I'm not super optimistic about my chances, but I'm going to try it. So I'm going to try to bring this into my code component. So here inside of my code component, and actually as I think about this, bringing it in as a component isn't going to work because I'm going to need to change so much of their code, and I'm sure they don't have props for all of the configuration I would like to do. Okay, all right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to node module. I'm just going to npm uninstall. So do this in reverse. I'm going to say uninstall. Uninstall that same thing. And we'll see if that actually works. I suppose I just could have deleted it, but I feel like if uninstall works, that's the way to go. Okay, so it says it uninstalled it. Did that undo the changes? Look at the package.json. Nope, Scratch GUI is still there, so I'm going to get rid of that. Okay, and I'm going to save that. And then just to be safe, I'll go ahead and delete all of my node modules, and then this will take a second, but I'm going to run npm install again. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically create a second project, I guess, and try and bring what I have for the Scratch GUI into my project. So I'm going to have like one for the Scratch GUI and one for my project, and I'm going to try and get them to the point where I can integrate them together. I think that is going to be success for now. So integrate them together and still get a production build of React. I think that is going to be a tricky thing to do. So if that's not on my README, yeah. Continue to have production build version of React. Yeah, continue to have production build version of React. That's going to be tricky. And maybe it will be easier just to put routes around the Scratch GUI and try moving the entire project to there. So that's something I'll probably learn the hard way. So what I'm going to do is take the Scratch GUI and do everything on my desktop for that. And then I'll come back to this project. So I'm going to make this one full screen so that I can slide it off and ignore it for now. Command T, and then cd to my desktop. And I'm going to git clone that Scratch GUI project. So let's git clone this Scratch GUI project. It already exists because I had it here. I wonder what I did. CD. It's funny when you work on a project over an extended period of time, or at least when I do, I end up with kind of a mess, to be honest. So npm start. What do I have for the Scratch GUI? Maybe I've already done a lot of this work. Project is running on 8601. 8601. Let's take a look. My computer sounds like it's working really hard again. Compiled successfully. Oh, here we go. All right, so I've done something like this before. And on the code page, it looks like I've got that integration working. Okay, but I think the problem I was having with this was here I've got the development build, and now what I want to do is I want to npm run builds, and that's not working for me. Maybe it is. Building the modules. I'm not really sure why I restarted if this is the case. Why did I restart? I really think it's got to be because this didn't end up being the production build. What ended up building was not the production build. But we'll see if it is. It's pretty fantastic. So it says it built. Is it in a build folder? I'm going to open this up in Visual Studio Code and see. In this build folder, static. There's a lot of images, but I can remove those probably. So let me try to open. I'll just open build index.html. Okay. Maybe I have to serve it. How do I serve it? Let's see. So this has some suggestions on how to publish to GitHub pages. Read the wiki for a step-by-step guide. npm run build, npm run deploy, npm run build. Is that what I just did? npm run build. First, ensure that your GitHub Pages branch is set up to track the fork you intend to publish to. Made and pushed a commit to the GitHub Pages. Okay. I don't totally know how to do that. Let's see. Publishing to GitHub Pages. No, that's what I'm on. Localization notes, release notes. Publishing to GitHub Pages. Commit and push the build result to your GitHub Pages branch. But all that will do is, well, oh, do I maybe have, because all that would do is take the folder that exists, because GitHub Pages just runs this actual project here. All right, so funny enough, I've actually created an issue for this. So I think this is where I got stuck last time. There we go. So let's take a look. What have I done? Please see this, publishing to GitHub Pages. I'm pretty sure that's where it was. Yeah. Because you've not configured authentication tokens for S3 on your Travis workout. Secret environment are set. Okay. So I feel like this should exist in my build folder. Like what I have should be what I need in order to deploy. But maybe it needs to run on a static server. How did I do that over here? Serve-s build. I don't know if that'll work. I don't know if it's oh really. No way. Whoa, okay. Sweet. Oh, okay, that's awesome. Okay, so what's going on here is this is letting me build on a static file server. So it looks like by just opening it, the index.html, I was getting issues like warnings and I would guess some CORS stuff. But now that I'm serving on a static file server, it's working. It's working and I can see things and hop back and forth. This is really cool. Okay. Okay, so the issue that I'm having is that it's using the development build. All right. Okay. So how do I get it to not use the development build? So I need like part of the build process for the Scratch GUI and part of the build process for the other project I have set up. So maybe what I'm going to do is find a way to build the Scratch project or to run the React scripts. Note that the development build is not suitable for production. Make sure to use the production build. Okay. All right. By default, React includes many other use production build. Yeah, so I'm not doing create React app if I'm using the Scratch application because it didn't use create React app. Most efficient brunch production build. Install Uglify, Browserify. I really want to do this with Webpack. Note, please see the instructions above. This section is only relevant if you configure Webpack directly. So that's what Scratch GUI must be doing, is configuring the Webpack directly. Okay. So I don't want to do that. Most efficient Webpack production build. Make sure to include these plugins in your production configuration. Webpack.define plugin. You can learn more. Profile. Okay. Okay. Huh. Uglify JS plugin. So the question is, does the Scratch GUI include the Uglify JS plugin? It does. Okay. And minimize is true. So maybe it's just not reading that this is the production environment. So I need to convince it that I'm building for production. So how do I set the process environment variable? Is that something I can do in the package.json? So where's the build? npm run clean and webpack production and environment. And config. Okay, so what about instead of this, I will just say that this is always true. So true. And unexpected constant condition, yep. And so I'm going to get yelled at for that, but that's okay. Because right now I just really want to pretend that it is doing the production build. And maybe that will lead to success here. So if hard coding this to true, and let's see, where else does it have the word? Does it have the word production anywhere else? No. Does it have node environment anywhere else? Yeah. Okay. Define plugin. Is that what it said over here in the documentation? Define plugin? It totally did. JSON.stringify production. Okay. So I think I want to change this to JSON.stringify, whatever the process.node.env is. But I want to set the process.node.env to production. So yeah, I'm just going to copy this line. That's what I'm going to do. And this is a JavaScript object, so I should be able to comment things out like this. Okay, and it's upset about something. Red squiggly. Oh yeah, this. Okay. All right. I'm actually going to run that build again because I think that that would have hurt me. So let's look for node environment anywhere else. Node underscore en. Those are the only two places. Okay, so if that works, then down here I should be able to change that back, and then it won't be hard-coded anymore. Oh man, I hope this works, because then I can get the React production build, and then I can, yeah, that'd be sweet. All right, so I'm going to try serving that again. Serve-s build, localhost 5000. Come on, be blue. Be blue, not red. That is red and not blue. Yeah. Ooh. This page is using the development build of React. Huh. I really thought that that would do it. Production. Down here, this is true. What was it to start? Yeah, I think that should be fine if the other one's set correctly. So I'm going to actually change that back. Then I won't get that red warning. Okay, so I'm not really sure what's going on here. So I've got these. You can learn more about it here. Define plugin with production value in development because they will hide useful React warnings and make the builds much slower. Yes, that's true. I don't want to do that. Value in development. Include.min.js. Maybe that's part of the problem. Maybe I don't want that. Doc and cat. Plugins. Doc and cat. Oh, it's adding this one. If that's true. Okay. So here it's checking if it's the production environment, and then it's adding that. But what? Because the instructions say that I don't need any of this. So I'm guessing there's a reason that exists, but I don't know what that is. So I'm going to try running the build again and see if that. No, not the serve. I'm going to run the build again. So the problem is I'm getting a development build, which is not what I want. I want to be serving these files, these static files, which seem to be working, totally functional. Maybe less functional than I thought. Getting a lot of red here. React is running in production mode, but dead code elimination has not been applied. Read how to correctly configure React for production. Dead code elimination has not been applied. So it is running in production mode, but this is here. Dead code elimination has not been applied correctly. Okay, so now I can read about dead code elimination. Dead code, oh goodness. Configure React for production. That's what I thought I did. Oh, maybe that's what these things did. If I put this back and rerun it, will it no longer give me that error? But will it still say I'm running in develop? Dead code elimination has not been deployed. Read how to correctly configure React for production. But that brings me back to this. React developer tools for Chrome. Yes. Create React app. And then it brings me all the way back down to Webpack. This is what I'm doing. Okay. All right, so this is built, and now I'm going to serve it. And I'm going to see if I still get the dead code production error. I refresh here. Yeah, reload. Okay, React is running in production mode, but dead code elimination has not been applied. Um, Raven.js 429. Raven.js 425. Raven.js isn't something I created. I'm wondering if that's something Scratch is using or Create React app. If I had to guess, I would guess that Scratch is using that. So where is Raven? Raven config. Aha, okay. Okay, so here's something using something called Raven. Raven, I wonder if that's for testing or something else. So Raven, what is Raven? Sentry documentation. Okay, what is Sentry? Sentry is to report to Sentry, you'll need to use, okay, so this is some sort of reporting. Okay, so this is doing like some sort of like bug reporting or error reporting, and that oh, reading. Okay, Sentry error logging to help with finding bugs. So if I do that, and we're no longer using Raven, and then I try it again, well, let's say that I'm using the production build and using it correctly. Well, that'd be sweet. Okay, come on. Something I tell my students is I don't feel the need to go to casinos anymore because I get the same high from this. This feels about the same. Come on, big money, big money, big money. Let's serve. Localhost 5000. Refresh. Okay. Interesting. This is coming from a different location. So it's the same error, but a different location. So that did fix one of them. Debugger VM22. Debugger. Oh. So I didn't actually change the node environment. This is just hard coding it. So I actually want this to be whatever the process.env node environment is, which probably makes this line worthless. Production. Okay, at least I've got that note for later. But maybe this is because is this using .env .env? Oh, or is it using React's environment variables? Let's see if I can find something like that. DOT. Process.env.debug. Oh, I never changed that. Okay. Okay, we're gonna try this one more time. So we're gonna go back to this production. And this is gonna be false, I think. False. We are not debugging. Therefore, we shouldn't get this anymore. And I've already commented that out for Maven. That was in the index EJS Maven Sentry. Okay, let's see. So maybe I'll want to add that stuff back later. But Maven and Sentry are not being properly checked for dead code, which is making React upset that it's no longer the production build, or at least not the correct production build that it would like to see. But maybe we can fix that. All right, let's serve these static files again. See if we can turn this blue. No, why? I'm not getting any. Oh, now I'm getting 2 errors. Okay. Read how. Oof. Play was interrupted by a call to pause. Code line 1. Okay. Debugger. Oh. I thought this would turn it off by putting false here. Process.env. False. Nothing, huh? Debugger. Debug. No, that doesn't show up anywhere else. Boolean false. So that didn't change anything. This is still a problem. This should always be production. Let's just minimize is true. Configure React for production. React is running in production mode, but dead code elimination has not been applied. Dead code elimination has not been applied. VM 315.21. Where is this code? Tools global hook. Oh, yeah. Okay, so that's their errors. Yeah, they're throwing that error because they don't like DevTools global hook forest detected bad DCE. Oh, okay. So all of this JavaScript is coming from my React developer tools saying function detect straight turn production. Okay, so it is running production, but it's detected bad DCE. Hook renderers. Has not been applied. So my guess is that it's supposed to go through some process, but I've got some code maybe here that's avoiding that process. So let's also remove Firebase because I added that. And heck, let's remove this. All right, worth a shot. Okay, and we're serving it now, and we're going to see if we get that same error. Here, okay, refresh. My guess is we still do. I don't know what I've done differently to remove it, really. I removed those things from the, yeah. Still get this. All right, Google. Can you help me out here? Remove dead code with tree shaking. The first should be to remove the minimize option. This will allow you to go into your production bundle to see unused harmony export fact. Comments being inserted. Oh, jeez. This seems deeper into the weeds than I want to be. Okay, so I would guess that this has to do with tree shaking, which means removing code that's not being run. So dead code, elimination that has not been applied. But I don't know what code it relates to, because all of this is going through a build process of some sort that in theory is doing that shaking. All right, well, I've been working at this for a little while, so I'm going to take a break. I don't necessarily have the answers I want, but it's time to chill. All right, I'll be back a little later.